All right, Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect worldwide that believe in this truth and sincerity and faith. This is another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. And I have a quick article I want to go into from this website, globalresearch.ca. All right, and it's entitled Currency War Escalation. Iran wants euros instead of US dollars for oil payments. All right, and if you've been paying attention to the news in like the past month and a half, you notice that a lot of the gas prices here in America have been going down the drain. Okay, basically going low. All right. I believe in Michigan, it was anywhere from around 90 cents to 40 cents a gallon, right? And then it went down 20, 30 cents in other places. So the gas prices here in America are low right now. And then you had to where the U.S. had lifted oil sanctions on Iran, so they've been pushing out oil all over the place. So that's putting a dent in the so-called oil economy of the U.S. All right. So it says Washington must be getting nervous with the latest announcement from Iran's state-owned oil company, the National Iranian Oil Co., which declared that Iran will replace U.S. dollars. It will replace U.S. dollars with euros for its oil trades, according to a Reuters news article titled "Exclusive." Iran wants euro payment for new and outstanding oil sales. Source: Iran wants something, well, almost anything, to bypass the U.S. dollar with other currencies because of Washington's willingness to impose sanctions whenever it wants on the Iranian public. All right? So it says Iran wants to recover tens of billions of dollars it is owed by India and other buyers of its oil in euros, and is building new crude sales in euros too, looking to reduce its dependence on the U.S. dollar following last month's sanctions relief, the report said. It says watch for AIPAC's bought and paid for politicians in Washington call for more sanctions on Iran because they will find something to blame the Iranian government, even global warming, if they can get away with it. And that includes a terror attack. Okay, because these different politicians in Washington and the Pentagon, they want to go to war with Iran. All right, and that was mentioned years ago by one of these former generals, I believe, during the Bush administration. He mentioned that they wanted to go into Iraq, I believe Afghanistan, and including Iran. Okay, so going to war with Iran is in the agenda, and blaming anything on Iran, such as a terror attack or what this article mentions, that's just another part of them getting a foothold in the Middle East. Okay, especially with this whole oil situation going on. Okay, so it reads Reuters said a source at state-owned National Iranian Oil Co. told Reuters that Iran will charge in euros for its recently signed oil contracts with firms including French oil and gas major Total, Spanish refiner Cepsa and Ladasco, the trading arm of Russia's Lukoil. Iran has close ties to Russia and China politically and economically, and can now strategically pivot to other currencies without the threat of war by the U.S. and, of course, Israel. In our invoices, we mentioned a clause that buyers of our oil will have to pay in euros, considering the exchange rate versus the dollar around the time of delivery, the NIOC source said. It is important to note that Reuters also said that switching oil sales to euros makes sense, as Europe is now one of Iran's biggest trading partners. This brings us back to the Iraq War, when the mainstream media, Judith Miller and the New York Times in particular, lied to the world about Iraq's weapons of mass destruction. And one of the main reasons that Washington decided to declare war on Iraq was Saddam Hussein's decision to accept euros in November 2000 for oil trades instead of U.S. dollars, right? Which is the same thing that they did to Gaddafi in Libya a few years back because he wanted to back up his new currency with gold. So they offed him. All right. It says, remember the Bush regime and its neocon gang members also blamed the Iraqi government for the September 11th attacks. So what does Washington have up its sleeves regarding Iran's latest announcement? It says, can a new call for sanctions against Iran take center stage in Congress if Iran were to test new missiles or conduct naval exercises within their territory in the future? Many in Congress, including Senators John McCain and Charles Schumer, would vote for new sanctions so that the Obama administration can slap on additional sanctions on top of the sanctions already in place for Iran's recent missile tests. Right? And all this tension is building up for these missiles to be launched during World War III, which is going to destroy America, okay? And the land of Israel as well. It says the latest sanctions prevent several entities and individuals linked to the Iranian missile program from using any U.S. banking system for their transactions. So which currency does the U.S. banking system use for its transactions? U.S. dollars. And that's exactly the point. And that is why Iran wants all of its past and future payments in euros to avoid sanctions, which has caused economic hardships for the Iranian people for decades. Right? Which that has pushed Iran to be an ally with Russia. Okay, and once Iran, Russia, and these other countries they get get their military together, that's when all hell is going to break loose in that region over there in the Middle East, and World War III is going to take place. All right. So it says U.S. hegemony in the Middle East is fueled by the power of the petrodollar, right, which is basically the dollar that backs up the oil. If you do oil trading anywhere in the world, you have to use the petrodollar. Okay? It says the U.S. dollar still represents at least 60% of the world's reserve currencies. So do the recent moves to replace the U.S. dollar by Iran, Russia, and China to dethrone the world's most used currency anytime soon? No, but the world is gradually making moves to transition away from the U.S. dollar without causing any major disruptions in the world economy, and that is what makes Washington very nervous. All right? Now, this is dated February 7th, 2016. Okay? So as you can see, the more and more of these nations that move away from the dollar, the more and more Washington is desperate to pull out drastic measures on these different nations, such as sanctions, which is just going to lead to boots on the ground in places like Syria and maybe even Iran, and then World War III is definitely going to take place. Okay, but I got a scripture that I do want to grab. All right, let's go to Isaiah the 13th chapter. This is in the blueletterbible.org. All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. Just bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, right here we go. Isaiah chapter 13, I'm gonna start at verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. That's the coming nuclear destruction. It says, and it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Now it's talking about these different nations here in America. These other foreigners like from India or China or the Middle East, Africa. They're going back to their own lands, leaving America, and starting up businesses and boosting the economy of their own home countries. Okay? It says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. All right, and it says, "Behold," and this is the main point. "I will stir up the Medes against them," which is talking about Russia, right? "Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." So you got these other nations. The article mentioned Iran, but Russia as well, because Russia and Iran are allies within BRICS. Same thing with Brazil, India, China, South Africa, and these other Eastern Hemisphere allied confederations that they're forming. Okay, and with the Medes or the Russians as the head, it says they shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Because these other nations, they're doing away with using the dollar as their backed currencies. Okay. All right. Whether it's trading with oil or any other commodities, they're running away from the dollar. Okay, and that's causing the economy of America to falter, and eventually it's going to crash, and that crash is coming soon. Lord willing, that's 2016. Okay, and then eventually these nations, as we're getting ready to read, they're going to destroy America through nuclear missiles. All right. So I'm going to read that again. Isaiah 13:17. "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." And like I said, this scripture is, it mentions the Medes, which is the Russians, but they're the head of the Confederation of Nations that is going to launch missiles, destroy America, and also not use the American dollar anymore, such as Iran. Okay? So it says, "Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children." Going into the nuclear missiles. These bows, which are the nuclear missiles, shall destroy everyone on the soil of America in that time. It says, "In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." All right. So with that, this coming World War III, this coming economic crash, these different nations and heathens coming together to destroy America, that's soon, man. And like I said, Lord willing, it'll be this year. All right. So with that, I'm going to end it there. Hope everyone was edified. I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect worldwide that sincerely believe in this truth. May Yahweh Bashem Yahushai return quickly and speedily to destroy this place. Until the next edition of GMS News and Prophecy, I'm going to say Shalom.